curious as to what way this knife round has actually gone down, because not many maps really where it matters anymore, but this is definitely one of them, and it looks like in the IRAE were able to get that CT start.
Definitely nice to get off to, indeed, that strong start of the CT side. Let's see what they can get done with it as we get into the action. The best of ones rolling fast. Of course, if you are sticking around, we've got EU games coming up after this, after a little break. Nonetheless, action starting off towards ramp. Little bit of the tit for tat, few damages here or there. Adren's got a D, boys. Interesting to see. Mo with a quick headshot. Beta will trade him out. I think that might be a muted player. Indeed, it is. Nonetheless, what is going on B? Oh my goodness. Overwhelmed from all sides. X5's going to find a little bit of action, but can't get the kills. You know, they're coming close. The low HP bars are indeed here, but the pistol's going to be picked up. The overwhelming, in-your-face style of K23. Unexpected, but it works.
Yeah, that's all that matters, as you had said. Just straight down ramp. Adren had his deagle. Doesn't get a chance to use it himself, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter. They do win out the pistol round and now have what looks to be a pretty secure buy as well. Only pulling out a single SMG into it. But, well, we had a pretty similar thought in the previous map, when in our previous game, rather, when we seen things going pretty well for Akuma after winning out their pistol round. And then they got destroyed by some pistols, by a 5.7 in that case. There is no 5.7 currently. The MP9, the deagle, and the Go currently, and well, a pretty quick MP9 kill. Frisk manages to catch Neelan over the top of the smoke. Not sure if he quite had vision, but he did hear the footsteps. And it seems to have forced that other player who was initially going to drop down the vent to reconsider things. Good catch, though, by Fame. Railway was transitioning back over, I think, from hell towards credit card there. And now they're in a bit of an awkward 4-on-4.
Certainly is. Oh, Adren. What's happening? We need to get the volume
ramp,
turned up here on the INDE IRAE side. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're getting caught in the side, in the back, quite a lot.
The window must have already been broken.
I guess so, but still, he was running, and he didn't even spin around. So, very, very strange. Very strange indeed. Bomb's going to go down. This is usually where we say it's kind of impossible for him to manage to get his hands onto an AK. Yeah, and he wants out of here, so going to hold a little bit, try and get some exits, and that will actually cost him his life. K23, therefore, moving relatively stress-free into the 2-0.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, could have got a little bit awkward when the initial player was lost, of course, but they recover it well. And there's not going to be really anything into this round for INDE, so they don't really have to worry about too much here. There's only the 2 deagles so far. Bit of a stack maybe to come in from INDE already. They might try something a bit crazier, perhaps an outside push, even if they want to get this one done with quick, hoping to just kind of isolate a player perhaps. But no, looks pretty standard so far. Same for the T side. They're going to probe all over the map, taking the fights that they know they're going to be heavily advantaged in. And well, Adren hits a couple of nice shots. That's what we want to see from him. Warm up in these early rounds. Mo as well, looking to try and get some money going for himself towards that off in the early gun rounds. And well, he only gets the one before going down. That's actually an AK as well. He just tossed it to the ramp player. Somehow they're turning this around. X5 gets himself 3 from the bomb site. Fame gets the trade at least from heaven, but now he's left in the one-on-one. Frisk has a chance to make this happen in a round that really shouldn't have had any opportunity for INDE IRAE. Molly at least keeps him at bay for now, so the bomb gets planted from Fame. But Frisk, he still has time. It's only just gone down. AK in hand, full health on both players, so they're both going to have to look for the headshots pretty much. As Fame just tucks in behind that CT vent, and well, it's not going to be expected, gets the headshot for himself. But X5, he made that way closer than it ever should have been. And that's a fantastic sign, because X5 is the player that's been standing out for INDE IRAE. And if he can do that again today, then they're on track to keep up the form that they've been showing so far.
Huge point, huge point. I think the panic stations, you know, hit very early on. You can see here that couple of kills from the dodgy positions, you know, not dodgy, but like difficult to deal with positions, let's say. And then, yeah, the panic sets in for K23. No instinctive protocols to fall back or to regroup or whatever it was. That case that we see an awful lot, actually, from the mid-level teams, where everyone scrambles to try and pick up the pieces, you know, and then it just gets worse. You're trying your best to keep the water and keep the ship afloat, and it just goes all over the place. Cheeky little 1-for-1 here, as the outside aggression was successful from Fame, but a bit too wide. No one able to support him. Still K23, they'll be happy with an early trade.
Railway, I think, got a little bit of a spot there of the player moving in towards ramp. Flashover just takes the peek to confirm. Probably doesn't want to stick around for this fight too long, so if they do start pushing in, his goal will just be to drop back down towards B. Hurtfrisk just steps into the angle that Norbert was holding. Railway, as I said, would ideally be playing to just back off on ramp, but I guess with the advantage they already have, he wasn't really too bothered by it. Happy to stick around, take the 1 kill, and eventually be traded out by Neelan now, who has a little bit of a path towards that B bomb site. And should, I believe, get himself the bomb plant even. So that's going to be a slight bonus. He doesn't hold it initially. It would have been close, to be fair, even if he did hold it, but not doing so initially now just means as soon as he does go eventually to put it down, Hurtfrisk is just going to open the door and rip his head off, as we've seen. So 3-1. That's going to be IRAE getting their first on the board. And with that, they've already destroyed the economy of K23.
Yeah, that previous round, of course, right, that comes so damn close. So, difficult spot for them to be in. They're going to have to go for the buy. And kind of wish they didn't have to, but it's the way that the cookie crumbles. Of course, IRAE, really good signs, I think, to be finding that first rifle round. Always what you're after. And they'll find another opener. X5 getting aggressive outside. Will get overwhelmed. That's an M4 to be retrieved if they play their cards right. Davkost on high with the M4 here, and of course the smoke's not really going to cover him off. How do you deal with that then? I think they kind of know here, but like I say, how do you deal with that, right? There's a question running through K23's head to not lose another player. 4 versus 4 with the outside control is not bad at all. Adren picks up the AK from X5 falling earlier on. So this now gets a bit more interesting. Ah, excuse me, I think it was from Fame. Nonetheless. Run boost.
Oh. That was perfect.
Great shot as well.
Even if he didn't land that, it done its job of pulling him wide into the angle, so he at least would have been traded. But obviously, Mo just hits a ridiculous shot either way. Good call to actually re-aggressing towards the lobby there. Ideally, they wanted to hold onto a Dren so they could have the 2-pronged attack onto this A-bomb site. Instead, now, it gets a little bit awkward. Railway needs to look up above. Oh, he didn't actually spot them initially, but he still manages to get the spray down. Not quite. It is a struggle, and he doesn't even get the finish onto Norbert in the end. Somehow we're in a 2-on-2. This is a crazy hectic round. Hurtfrisk with a strong position from the CT vent is at least good to drop the bomb, and now it's all on Mo. He's got 1 kill to his name so far. He's going to need to go ahead and triple it if he wants to come out with the round win. And, well, Flowin was just holding that angle there while his teammate was tucked in. If he wanted to get to his teammate, he had to expose himself to get to the other guy, rather. He had to expose himself to Flowin. So it was a nice little setup. 2 for INDE. But, yeah, that was an awkward one for Railway, I'm not going to lie. I've said he, during the qualifier, had some really good games, but he also had some very off moments where some games he just didn't show up at all. So he seems a little bit more inconsistent, even if he has a really high skill ceiling like some of his teammates. So if he has a rough game, then maybe things could get a little bit awkward for IRAE. But overall, they seem to have a pretty good diversity of fragging power.
Can be kind of difficult, though, in your bigger games, right? When you don't have a degree of structure. Can be very, very hard to get things working, and especially when you are behind, in a sense, how do you recover it back? How do you pull it back when, you know, you're not really sure of how all the pieces are working today? It's very different from the way it was yesterday, for example. Either way, Railway up close and personal, looking to hold, and he will get himself the triple. Making money on the MP9. Love to see it. And now just a Dren against 3. If he can find one more, this would actually be pretty good, right? They're already having to rebuy on a couple of players. But not going to happen. He will get dealt with. And that's going to be the 3rd in a row for IRAE. We need a bit more resistance from K23. They need to show us something slightly fresher to give IRAE a test. Because so far, I mean, that rifle round does come a little close, a little dicey. But things looking very, very good for the CT side. Especially, like I say, when it comes to the crunch moments, really solid so far.
Back onto the buy. No op available, sadly. So that won't be there to challenge Davkost, but they do have the rifles and, well, a severe lack of nades. Norbert's already got the opening, though, onto Flowin. Didn't quite manage to catch that one. I believe it was around the door, and you can see already with the outside smoke that was put down, a player has had to rotate down to the lower half of the map there for INDE. It's actually because of that kill, I believe, from Norbert as well. He was able to make his way down into the vents now and might have a shot at the second. It's going to be a knife. He has no idea. It's a left, right. That is the worst case right there for X5. gets kind of BM'd, I've got to say. Obviously, extra money is always nice for Norbert. He might have a shot at even just sealing the deal here, indeed, as he gets himself one more. It should be the save being called for, but he's looking for the ace. Running through for the last. It's going to be denied by Hurtfrisk. As he salvages at least some, I guess, some of the repertoire here for INDE. Oh, he's not going to survive, though, is he? It's going to be impossible in the back of this, in the back of ramp here, with everyone pretty much moving in his direction. You can see them on the hunt.
Oh, faces out. Keep going, keep living. Okay, Hurtfrisk going to save the AK. Ah, nope. Denied away. The Molotov actually forces his hand. I think after those 2 kills, he probably would have held and possibly gotten away with it.
Didn't have the back, so it was a bit awkward, but as I said, the full 3.
Smart move. Yeah, I think he went for the right
BM
click.
way as well. Going for the right click on the back. I think he wanted to get the back initially, but he was going to go for the left, right either way, just so he gets those 3 in, and so the player has those extra few seconds to realize, oh, I'm getting knifed. That's what it was. I think we're getting a bit of a pause. I believe it might be technical. Am I correct? Yeah, Nealon had timed out for a second, but he's already back, so shouldn't be really on hold too much longer at all.
Very epic, as they say.
I wonder if the word epic will be like trademarked by Epic Games or something, in the way they do crazy things like that. I remember the word Sky was trademarked by Sky, and they sued someone for it, wasn't it? What was it?
Faced by Facebook.
Oh, really? Yeah. There's just ridiculous things. There's ridiculous things.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, you remember Freddie Wong on YouTube with like the funny CGI videos and stuff?
I do, yeah. Didn't he make that video game high school thing?
Yeah. And their company
great
originally used to be called Face Rocker, but they had to change it.
Oh, because of the face part of it?
Because of Facebook, yeah.
So
I think it was...
Oh, it was No Man's Sky that had issues with Sky. Because they had... Yeah, because I was trying to remember the exact case I was thinking of. Some things are so ridiculous. Like, come on. I wouldn't even be thinking of it. Even though I use Sky Internet, I wouldn't even be thinking of it just because I'm looking at No Man's Sky. Do you get me? It's that silly.
Yeah. They're so far apart from one another. Oh, I understand. Either way, back to the game. As indeed we are back into the action. INDE IRAE, a bit of a rough one for Railway, but the rest of the squad, they've got stuff to work with. Hurtfrisk going to find the first kill as well. Norbert getting a bit adventurous will be punished. We've got action all over the place, though, as you can see, with the observing, you know, just going through so many different players about to come out on the brink of a fight. X5 will catch his Ren outside. Oh, trying to survive here. 1 HP, Molotov, and the AK to get it done. That's awkward. Nonetheless, 4 versus 3 in favor of the CTs for now. Nealon following in the footsteps of Norbert, trying to get spicy again, and he finds success this time. Fane's taken out Railway. Uh-oh. Massive problems. Back into the 2-on-2, and that was the key frag. Florian catches off Nealon. There's catch-offs all over the place, and now down to one of the great veterans of the game, Mo. Major winner a few years ago. We'll see whether he can tap into that here for the 2v1.
Oh. He's looking around on A right now. The timing could work against him, and indeed it does. It was just the one man on the bomb site to deal with. If he got that initial one, there probably would have been the space for the bomb to be planted. So, unfortunately, he's not able to move in. But, going to be the scoreline tied back up. Back and forth is how we're going to get things going now. Not ideal for INDE IRAE. If they are to lose another one here, it would have just put them straight down onto the eco. But for now, they are actually coming out on top of the situation, as it's actually a pretty weak economy for K23. They can't even afford the pistols, I don't believe. It's just a couple of P250s being pulled out. So I'm not expecting very much to be found here for K23. INDE IRAE should be getting themselves a lead. And while that nade is going to do some serious damage, never mind, Railway. It does do good damage, but he doesn't even really get the opportunity to shoot with that MP9. If he had have not swung behind that nade, he probably would have killed 4 at least of them, considering how low they all were. And they denied a bomb plant? Just about. Wasn't too sure if X5 would get the transfer in time, but he does. The one casualty being an MP9 as well, it's one that they can just kind of brush off pretty quickly.
Neck and neck, though, dude. Again, competition is kind of what we want. We had a few one-sided affairs, particularly from the CIS region yesterday. So keeping things nice and close, always good. K23 trying to battle back as their, success has really been kind of short-lived. Of course, the 5-4, in a sense, can be a little bit deceiving, right? Only the one rifle round so far from K23. Pistols are a part of the game, however. So make your excuses. I think K23 don't care so much how the rounds come, just so long as they get them. Especially this early on into the game. But INDE IRAE showing a lot more consistency with the rifles. Much quieter start this time. Norbert again trying to be a little deceiving. Davcost, of course, will shut me up with that early frag onto Mo. So 5-on-4 pretty quickly. Norbert, I think, maybe through a Molotov or spam through the smoke to get down secret here. Taking a lot of damage. So things really not looking good for the T side.
No, that's been the case in these past couple of rounds now. In the gun round before, they'd been all kind of weakened up as well, even though, as you had said, they'd got themselves into a ton of decent positions. They've usually taken some damage in the process, and again, that is the case. Norbert gets finished off by Railway. It's extended into a pretty firm hold on a 5-on-3 right now for INDE IRAE, considering they've barely even taken any damage themselves. Dren, he's actually crept around in towards Hell. Is he going to be able to do much from here? I mean, the pushes still coming in from his teammates are pretty individual. Again, Neelan gets caught on his own. Fame's going to be taken down by X5, and Adren, he's made his way up in towards Heaven on A, but what can he reasonably do from here? Nothing. That is unfortunate. I think he was going to try and drop down for the knife there to see if he could get the extra few quid for himself, but yeah, he gets caught by Davcost instead, who ends up looking up towards Heaven, saving his teammate. Adren was no guardian angel right there anyway. Onto the half by now, though. This should be INDE IRAE going up to a 7-4 lead. Yeah. Again, they've been just looking tremendous. K23 overall have really struggled so far. I think they've only got themselves one win, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think there's a bit of a split in Group B in the sense that there's VP, Gambit, and INDE IRAE at 3-1, and then everyone else is at 1-3. So what would that be? Fours?
They are indeed. They beat Unique.
K23 and Unique, yeah. Well, INDE IRAE going to open up again, Dino. 5-on-4 just like that. I mean, it is the half buy here from K23. Definitely not expecting too much out of them, but INDE IRAE just able to pull out the very, very same aggression, same success, really, in every single round. No sweat off their back. Davcost on the repeat will get a bit greedy. However, Railway down below should be able to hold. Does indeed thwart the B push. And, of course, the encroachment coming in from the rest of the CT side. Awkward fight, but the bomb's dropped. And Norbert now the only one left.
He's trying to creep in behind. Might get the op, but he should be noted at that point. I believe there was a player watching in towards Hell, so he likely will have seen that just disappear. So I don't think he'll be unknown anymore. But he might be able to escape with it and actually just stay alive, which looks to be the goal. It'll be a decent enough save. It'll give them an op that they wouldn't be having otherwise. But he does need to make sure he doesn't go down, ideally. At least it's before time. There was plenty of time. There were 30 seconds still remaining, so it's not too big of a deal, I suppose. They actually do still manage the op, never mind. So I was lying to you completely. Mo manages to pull one out. It's only with body armor, so it still would have been a nice addition to have saved it over. They've got a pretty decent investment here. It's better than the last one they had anyway, for sure. But they need to make this one work. If it doesn't, then INDE IRAE are going to go up probably 9-4 at that stage. That next gun round then could potentially leave INDE IRAE with an 11-4 half if they manage to get it then as well. So there's not too many more opportunities here for K23 to really get going on their T side. But if they do now, then the half could still be salvaged into a tremendous position, potentially of even 8.
Minute and 30 thereabouts left on the clock as the IRAE not going for the textbook early aggression that we've seen in a number of these rounds. I think they understand the position that they're in. Another rifle, another chance to shut down K23 for another 2 or 3 rounds. And lots of anothers, lots of repetition from INDE IRAE. They know what they're doing. Nuke looking comfortable. And of course, I think they will respect the fact that they need as many CT-sided rounds as possible. K23, Mo on that AWP. Adren with the well-coordinated pushes alongside his homies, I think will indeed be able to put a lot together on that CT side. But on the T side, not so much. 2 quick kills outside. One will be traded. So they move down in towards Secret, at the very least fake it out. Mo is down there. The rest of the squad just going to hold for now.
They need to move quick. Only 30 seconds, and Flowing's got the angle here to just jump peek and toss that nade in. Likely connect some good damage. As long as he doesn't fall immediately and stays alive to waste a bit of time, then this is just going to be so difficult for K23 rather to get into the bomb site. Staying around for now though, didn't open the door up, wants to just take the fight, only good for the 1 kill. A bit of damage done on top of it as well to weaken up Fame. Smoke out, they need to just try and get that bomb plant stuck. Mo hits the no-scope, almost the follow-up, but no, it doesn't land. Davkost instead is able to pull out the trade, and now it's all onto Fame. He hits a nasty one-tap onto the first man coming from ramp, and with the molly as well, he's able to lock out the single door to keep Davkost at bay. The nade goes deep. It's not going to be up close where Fame's positioned, and he's ready for this fight. Might just catch him with the nade in hand, and there it is, a massive clutch from Fame. They needed it to try and start salvaging the half, as we said. And he comes up big despite the low health. All chances were stacked against him. But that was nasty, as I said. Ridiculous first one tap. Pretty clean then on the final kill as well, I've got to say.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Sexy Counter-Strike, as Semler would say. Maybe a few others as well. Well, INDE IRAE, they've got deep pockets. They're able to dig and find a pretty good buy here, actually. Better than the K23 one, because they only survived with the 1 player. Very curious to see what the move's going to be. Yorp v Yorp, and Mo walks straight into the trap. Davkost with a freebie to kick things off.
Yeah, on towards Mo as well. One of the players who's, when he's had that up, at least been having a bit of impact. He's had his moments, and it's not going too well for them. Norbert's been caught as well. I think he was blinded by Fame's flashes. They were trying to get down the vent, just got caught on it. So that's a little bit awkward. A 5-on-3 yet again in the array with early control of the round. They're going to need Fame maybe to step up again as he did in the previous. Perhaps with some teammates alongside him this time. Never mind. He's gone. Flowing's got him. It's just too much for them to handle. In the array are kind of nuts. They looked decent versus the qualifier, but they weren't quite this good, man. It has been insane the level that they've been showing. And suddenly Dren and Neelan need to pull back a 2-on-5. Make it now just Neelan. As not really any damage has even been done. Flowing, I think, took 1 bullet. That's been all so far. And as he finally gets pulled in there towards Hurt Frisk, you have so many players around. There was a flank ready up the vent. There was the man on the bomb site immediately prepared to swing in as well. So just a strong setup off of each other. 8-5. It's going to be another eco as well from K23. So 9 should be confirmed in a moment for INDE. If they win out that next one, then a 10-5 CT side will be a fantastic position for them to be in.
Oh, pause comes in. CT side, in fact. INDE IRAE not wanting to throw this opportunity away. I think it's so interesting, you know, like you mentioned, right? They look good in the qualifiers and whatnot, but we've seen it time and time and time again in the major cycles. That's why it is so much fun, and why, you know, we want to get back into it as easily and as smoothly as possible, because it creates these amazing stories for teams maybe like this, and we'll see it with INDE IRAE. Maybe they'll develop. But you have the spark of hope, the one small chance with the one open qualifier that, you know, maybe you're not given the chance at. Maybe you're not invited to the tournaments that you think you should be. So you have to prove yourself. You put in the work. You absolutely drive yourself into this hole of, you know, what is it? Monomaniacism, I think is the word, where you just absolutely zoned in on the one tournament, the one long run that you got to go on in this major. And it starts with events like this, and INDE IRAE, it looks like they've done all this work, all this, you know, passion and drive and whatnot. Whereas K23, of course, the value will be there for them, but they have so many other tournaments in their life, in the schedule and whatnot. It can get a little lost. It can maybe not have as much time as you'd like to dedicate to it, right? Whereas, like I say, INDE IRAE, they've got nothing but time to work on this. So I think it really paints an interesting story when we have the major cycles. You know, there's so many QB Fire, Vega Squadron, who have gone on multiple player, you know, Boomich now plays for Na'Vi, Mir and JR, you know, having relatively solid careers and whatnot. Mir, especially recently, of course, for Spirit, has been at the forefront of that. And it started with Vega Squadron. So the Bulgarian teams as well that we've got a couple of in the EU, you know, all those types of deals start with the majors. So I'm so glad that we're back into it, of course. And INDE IRAE could be another CIS powerhouse that pops up just for the major, and then we'll see a couple of them stick around. I'm excited. I am excited.
Yeah, I mean, judging by what I'm seeing from some of the individuals, I think the likes of X5 and such we'll probably be seeing more of, because he seems incredibly solid. We all know who Davcost is as well. We've been seeing him around for a pretty long time. He's always been a capable player. But yeah, there's some promising young individuals definitely on the team, and as a 5-man as well, they seem to have put things together pretty well, judging by the victories that they're getting here so far. And obviously, the fact that they were able to come through an open and a closed qualifier, that is not an easy task. That's a lot of Counter-Strike. And then if you're to then include this as well as the actual major run, if they could get that far, it really would be an amazing story. Obviously, we're getting miles ahead of ourselves right now. We have a pause, so need to just talk about stuff.
Indeed, indeed. Paint the big picture, you know, create the hopes and the storyline. Maybe we'll get included in one of those cool VTs about the heroic story of INDE IRAE. Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the point breakdown as well. I'm trying to actually find the current standings. I can only find the EU ones for some reason. Is there any current standings for this, or CIS teams? I'd imagine so.
There should be. There should be.
Yeah,
Because obviously
I'm
there's a lot
struggling
of
to find them.
conversation around this Group B side of things and how a lot of the teams end up performing. So
I will. Yeah, because I have obviously the breakdown of what points they all get for their current positions. I'm just struggling to find the actual CIS. Oh, hang on.
right, okay.
Found it. Okay, yeah. So they currently have no points, obviously, since they haven't been to any of these before. And if they want to qualify, they need to get into the top 5, meaning they'd need 2,450. So yeah, that's just, I don't think that's going to be happening, unfortunately, for them. Yeah, you get 2,500 for first, so they'd need to get first, basically, if they wanted to get into the top 5. Also, that was destruction. I was barely even looking.
Yeah, just a cheeky little ace. You know how it is. You see it here on the replay for Railway. They walk straight into his crosshair. And that A1S, the increased damage, showing that maybe in terms of the group DPS, it's not too bad. Certainly a conversation around that when the update first came in. Is it like, right, M4A4 is still good for 3+ targets? Hectic cleave for any WoW players out there, but no, it looks like the A1S is still decent on it. Railway confident after that ace, of course, going to get aggressive into this one, looking to take the round by the tail. Adren outside, able to find Davcost though on the aggression. I think he's got an idea that X5 is here, but where's he coming from, right? The catch-off plays could be massive as X5 looks to get aggressive. He will indeed take down Adren. Solid stuff. Norbert, meanwhile, walking out onto A, like, this is a classic CIS round as they're all trying to make individual plays, really. I'm not sure whether he's been spotted there. Doesn't matter, because he gets a player walk straight into his crosshair. Still traded out easily enough. And thanks to the opening pick from Railway, man of the hour in the past couple of rounds, he's found the advantage. 3 versus 2 looking good.
Oh, this is a bit of a wild push from X5. I think it's going to work out. Never mind. No, doesn't quite manage to land the shot. A little bit of a stutter step at the moment the shot goes off for Fame. Saves his life. And Neelan then, unfortunately, for the crossover actually will be taken out. So it's Fame again who's left for the clutch. And has already got himself the first one. A peek in from Hurtfrisk that wasn't really necessary, especially with knowing his teammates on pretty low health. Railway now on 27, just wants to push through before he can position himself. Knowing that with the low health, if he had to try and play out that bomb, tapping it and such, trying to find the position of the player, that it would be very difficult. So he charges straight through with the flash, and that's going to be a 10-5 half for INDE IRAE, guys. Will they be able to keep this up and take the victory over K23? We'll find out soon after this break. In the IRAE, we're looking tremendous throughout that first half, able to end it out on a high note as well, taking a 10-5 in the end, Scriv. What are we thinking of K23's chances here? Obviously, the Pistol's a must-win, but they just looked really flat to me in that first half.
Yeah, look, it's a CT side of Nuke. I think if there's any map that can revitalize you with a halftime switch, it's definitely this one. Does begin with the Pistol, of course, that goes without saying, but I think that there is certainly a chance K23 individually, I think, have a little more available across the board, at least in terms of ceilings. But yeah, you're right, it did look flat, and you've got to bear in mind the 3 of those come from the Pistol, so yeah, rough. And one would assume, therefore, that picking up the Pistol here is an absolute must. Okay, and we get the bomb down with all 10 players left alive. Mo will find the first to very quickly make that fact false, but all the same, bomb's gone down. Retaking full flow. There's plenty of utility, and they're just going to go waterfalling in against the Glocks. That's really not the move, is it? Oh, not looking good at all. Norbert going to get tagged down pretty heavily here as well. Big nade damage, but he needs some support in from Mo. It's all on Mo now. It's been set up. Get it done, brother. He's going to tap the bomb. Swings will come through from both sides. Not looking good. Needed those kills a little bit faster. The bomb ticking away here, and I think that is going to be all she wrote for it. He does so much damage, but he needed the headies. INDE IRAE will find the Pistol, and now K23 really in trouble.
Oh yeah, big time. This is very, very troublesome. A force buy maybe comes true. If that doesn't work, then it looks like the force indeed is going to come in. If this doesn't work, then they're onto an eco. They're forced to give away a 13th round, and then they have maybe the one gun round to actually truly get themselves back into the game. Because then by the time they'd get the next one, they'd be already facing down the barrel of map point. And obviously, this is a best of one. That's not where you want to be. But we'll see what can be done. A scout and some deagles, a 5-7 as well there for Neelan. We know what can be done with these weapons. There is a chance for them to try and steal something away. And if they can manage to do so, that would be a fantastic pickup to try and get things going early on. Spam with the scout, though. Quite gonna land. They're up closer than on the angle than he expected, I believe. And, well, Hurtfrisk, they're more than willing to hurt his teammate a little bit in order to actually get that kill on towards the man pushing up through the smoke. Probably for the best, though. Things could have gotten dangerous as the flash was coming over otherwise. It actually was a team flash. The push, unfortunately, for Duran didn't go well. He got caught by his own teammate's flash. One kill, though, for Fame, rather. It's a Mach 10. Obviously, they're not looking at winning this round anymore, considering it's now 2-on-4. But if you can get a couple of kills with that, just to give him something to work with, and coming into the eco to maybe buy up a little bit more. Hang on, though, never mind. Norbert, I was going to say, has a chance to really turn things around. If he had have gotten that second kill, even, suddenly there would have been a true chance. The problem is now, though, is that they know Fame was around this A-bomb site earlier on. So they should be able to just take things together wherever they want, really. They actually will go towards A still.
Yeah, I mean, of course, could have moved, right? Still a bit of a guessing game. We'll find one with the Mach 10. That's money made, like you said. Damage done overall, bringing it down to just the 2 surviving. You know, it's bittersweet, I think, for K23. They are at a point in the game, though, in terms of the scoreline, where it's like you just need to be winning every round, which, of course, in scenarios like this one in particular, is kind of impossible. So, panic sets in for K23, I think. We need immediate and strong success when the rifles come into play. And that's a large ask. That's a very large ask of a team of any caliber.
Yeah, it's not ideal, as you said. No matter the caliber of the team, such a comeback is always going to be an issue. With a fragile economy, you lose one round, you just don't really have the opportunity to get anything done. You're seeing even now just the pistols in play, of course. This next gun round has to go their way. It's going to need to be a dramatic change, a drastic uptick in performance, as I like to say sometimes, from K23, if they want any hope of pulling this one back. At the moment, things looking pretty dominant overall from INDE IRAE, and well, Mo, he'd like a weapon. Is he going to have a chance? This is the Mac 10 that's coming his direction, sadly. So this is the one weapon he probably didn't want to be challenging, as he unfortunately feeds over to it. There you go, 600 for Dav cost. That's going to help out towards the op in the long run. Might even pull it out into this gun round here. There is one for Mo, so it would probably be a worthwhile investment. They might also just move a bit quicker, so it might not actually be necessary.
All right.
Not buying any more nades, is he? Oh, I thought he wasn't going to buy nades because that would have indicated to me maybe the vent drop, but he buys them in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just good to have. There's not much point making that kind of a weird sacrifice, really. But we'll see here. The outside aggression coming in from both sides. Adren, going to get mollied out, I believe. Yeah, actually not going to reach him, but it's X5 that finds the trade out. It's a nice idea. Railway nearly going down, but not quite, and that's the key thing. Early opener for INDE IRAE in the all-important rifle round. K23 not looking too good. Nice find from Mo. He spots the little head of Railway just as he popped up. Ooh, and the leg through the smoke. Lovely stuff from Mo here to bring it into a doable 4v4.
Yeah, with X5 pretty low on health as well, so it's not a good position for INDE IRAE, even though the 4-on-4 might ordinarily be so. Continued aggression from K23, though. They're going to move up through the lobby. Might find the players who are only now moving back in from the spawn, though, so this could be a bit of an issue. Mo is going to get the first contact at least, but the second player now swinging in could be an issue. Doesn't expect Norbert also up close, though, so that's the bomb now dropped and lost in the lobby as X5 is left alone with pretty much no health. He gets the first kill, but let's be realistic here. He really shouldn't be getting anything else from this unless some big mistakes are made by K23. As you can see, no chances being given to him currently.
Yeah, he's just going to walk away and save, I think, 'cause it's one of those, again, where maybe it feels a little bit futile to try and go for anything. Have a walk around, see if anybody's about. But, of course, like you say, the round itself just not really going to happen. Maybe in a second, Mr. I don't know, Mr. Nealon could come his way, but nah. Now hard saving. A little bit of an anticlimactic end, of course, the classic. But it will indeed be K23 with a pretty solid recovery back into that round, right? It looked very, very troublesome to begin with. Adren goes down a little too easily for my liking. But K23 able to keep it alive, particularly because of the AWP of Mo. And this is what I was talking about. You know, Adren and Nealon really struggling here, but there's still those individuals. Fame looking really good at the moment for this squad in general. Norbert's always pesky, and Mo on that AWP. Ever consistent, turret-style AWPer, and I think he's always been good at that.
The P90 from X5, the madman, he's going to charge right out onto A. I thought with the nade initially he might have dropped into the vent, but no, just wanted to create the space for his team. It's the AKs that get the kills though on the trades, and it is still going the way of INDE IRAE. They close it out with kills in sync, and it's 14-6. It looked a bit hopeful for K23 for a few seconds, but very quickly with that rush on towards A, it crumbles away. The economy completely destroyed. They're stuck on a force buy, and if this doesn't work, they're on a much, much worse investment even in the following round then to try and keep themselves alive in this game. So it is not going well for K23. I did say, though, that I thought Nuke was going to be pretty tough for them. It came down to the Nuke and Inferno choices. Inferno was definitely the one that they would have preferred, but obviously it was INDE IRAE's choice, and they went with Nuke, and you can see why.
Yep. Paying off big style. K23 a little shaky here, of course, in terms of the buy, but able to find themselves a couple at the start of this round. See what the move is to get back in then on that INDE IRAE side. The damage that's been done is humongous. So they're going to try and, of course, capitalize on that fact, but easier said than done. You got DG being hit by the big man. Oh, no, X5. Got a feel for him there. Hurt Frisk now the only one left. They have been a little lucky here on the K23 side of things. Still feels like consolation rounds, doesn't it, Dean? They absolutely should have strung a few together off the back of that rifle win. Couldn't do it. In fact, going down all too quickly. So it does just feel like a nice round for K23. Nice round in isolation. The game itself, still inevitable feeling. Especially because... especially with the save here, we'll probably see a buy into the next. Looks like the hunt is on, though, and there's plenty of time to take down Hurt Frisk.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be in much of a rush to take him down either. They're happy to let him sit back and have to be the one to press the issue with the 26 health he's got. That's not going to be ideal at all. Moving around on towards the roof, actually. With 20 seconds, it's all about the save, I'd imagine. I don't think he's going to be moving off from this roof anymore. Position himself in one of the corners, maybe. Is he going to actually peek down into the lobby? Okay, that's interesting. Does end up losing his gun. I figured he was just going to try and get the save in. He, I mean, has the money still, so maybe it wasn't quite worthwhile going for the save, but I would have said it was. I think they only got the 1900 loss bonus, or yeah, I believe so, 1900, because they've only lost a couple in a row, so could have been the save if he wanted. But maybe he was hoping another player or two could be taken alongside of him before it actually ended out. Didn't work though. 14-7 now. K23 on half of the scoreline of IRAE. And if they win out this one, which is already a somewhat limited buy for IRAE, then they will completely break their economy and they'll have themselves a chance to start moving up towards 9, maybe even 10 rounds here on the CT side. And at that stage, that's when you start believing, okay, I can see the comeback.
Yeah. A lot of work to be done before then, though, right? That's the key thing here. In comes the charge towards ramp once again. Going to try and overwhelm. And, well, down below, Norbert's got an awful lot of work to do. They kind of backtrack, though, and Norbert's going to capitalize on that. Takes the head of the first. Meanwhile, Railway contacting in 2 players around this corner. He'll keep on moving in, but the peak from Adren, way better. He and Mo, the old boys, getting it done. Florian will take down Mo, but it's looking good. 4 versus 2, still in favor of K23. And now just a 1 in the form of Florian.
It just keeps being left in these horrible 1vx situations. This one obviously a little bit more winnable, or at least it was initially with more time and health, but Florian, even as he catches that first kill, is brought down to 14, so again on the brink of death. I don't think he's going to be given much of a chance here. I think he's even been flanked out. Indeed he is by Fame. This is going to be the finish. He has no idea. I think he has a knife in his hand and all. So it's 6 rounds in the difference. This is the eco now. No bomb plant, no damage really being done. Only a single kill came true. So there's not really the money there even for the pistols to be upgraded to for IRAE, if I'm being real. And even then, Railway, he's gone for a deagle, and that's now put him down to 1200. And I believe they'll only get I believe they'll get 2900 coming into the next round. So it should be okay for him. But ideally, they do want to be prioritizing their buys being as strong as possible so that they can just try and find these couple of rounds that they need. Because again, it's the best of 1. You don't get another chance. Those are here or never. Obviously, there's overtimes and such. They haven't quite even confirmed that yet.
These are often the rounds where you can get caught sleeping, though. So they do need to be careful. I think losing any more than 1 player in this round would be unacceptable. Looks like that's not going to be the case, though. X5 now the only one left, and he will be flanked out. Good stuff. K23 keeping it together for the comeback, but still a lot more work to be done. Buy back in. This is what we're after. This is what we've been ready for as INDE IRAE. Oh, it's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect. Lacking utility in certain areas, and of course that Galil sticks out like a sore thumb, but doable, as we always say, particularly for a T side. We have seen them go for some very, very fast rounds. I think they need to bring it back, slow it back, and that's exactly the move that we've had here. Outside executes give them some control, some space to work with, but so far, no real action as yet.
No, it's a slower one from IRAE. Probably a good idea considering those last 2 gun rounds were over within seconds, basically, as they tried to play them a little bit quicker. Modo, he's going to pop up and actually catch that player as he's changing out from his weapon. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but X5 indeed caught without his weapon in hand. Railway going to be caught by the ramp aggression as well. Although Davcost gets himself a trade, at least onto Adren, the numbers for now are still going to favor K23. IRAE, they've lost pretty much all of the control that they were looking to obtain. They've only got that 1 player wrapping around from outside now, and he's not even looking to get into position before his teammates fall, pretty much. Florian wasn't even at all ready for the trade on Neil, and it gives so much time for him to go ahead and just prepare for the follow-up swing. And then Fame's going to get himself the kill onto Davcost as well, so they had a strong setup there between the 2 of them. 14-10, it's double digits for K23, and I said this is where I'd start believing that the comeback is a reality, and it does look like it. I mean, these rounds are becoming incredibly decisive. There's not much of a fight being put up by IRAE anymore. Their T side clearly not quite as well put together as their defense was.
I'd take a pause here. I would absolutely take a pause.
I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah. Maybe ahead of the rifle round, you could argue, but even then, you take a pause here, you know you're going to go for the half buy. That decision's made pretty quickly. Let's go for X round that we've got prepared. And you'd spend the time out talking about said rifle round. We'll see. Later outside, smokes once everyone's in position towards T-Red. They will get down secret. Little resistance down here, so certainly moving in towards the B-bomb site is not going to be impossible. Getting the bomb down once you're there, though. You've got the final boss of Dren, not making a lot of noise up on the catwalk. Good for one, and they are ready towards ramp. Quick couple of kills come in, though. However, the 5-7 of Mo looking pretty damn solid, and of course outside, Fame's able to find his kill as well. 11th round for K23. Getting serious now.
That did get scary for a moment there. If Mo hadn't got that double 5-7 kill, maybe there could have been a bomb plant and a shot at the round win for INDE IRAE, but he handles it incredibly well in the end. 14-11, as you said, 3 rounds in the difference. If INDE IRAE lose out this gun round, and if they don't get a bomb plant at least, then they're back on one more eco. K23 would be up to 13. The next gun round then could even put K23 into the lead. So it's a scary position for sure. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, door blown off early on. Mo just straight up on ramp, already catches Hurtfrisk in towards radio. And Adren, he's also aggressed on outside right now. I think he could be spotted by the man up on silo. This is definitely a risky one. There's also another man up close on main. He does begin to back away, but might just be spotted. Bumps his head off the top of the garage there and had me petrified for him. But he manages to hang on for now. Eventually he falls, but his teammates elsewhere have actually got some work done. That ramp aggression, or the lobby aggression rather, which is kind of unknown as well. Railway, they don't seem to be aware that he's in towards the door. I guess not. I figured Norbert had been kind of looking towards it, waiting for the peak to come in. And I don't know how Railway manages to get that flick. Norbert with a bit of a whiff, honestly, giving that one away, letting INDE IRAE have a man advantage suddenly. And with a ton of time as well to actually play out this 3-on-2. They don't have to rush into the bomb sites. And X5, he just patiently waits in May, and eventually it will pay off. Nealon walks into him with his back completely turned.
A mental ride once again. Bomb goes down. Looking very difficult indeed here on the clutch up for Mo. I don't know. Do you want to go for it, right? Like, you're not in a bad spot financially. It's not perfect, but I would argue with where they're at, just go for it. Give the 1v3 a bash. But he chooses the other decision, the other path at this crossroads, as he will choose to save. INDE IRAE then hitting 15. They've got 4 in a row to do it. I mean, you know, you look at the run of rounds. We've got 5 in a row from K23. If they can do that again, we'll get to an overtime, but no room for mistakes and so much pressure on their shoulders with this one.
Yeah, it's going to have to be flawless. 4 in a row, certainly, as you said, is doable. Especially with, I mean, looking back at how dominant some of those gun rounds actually were. While they were winning them, there wasn't really much of a challenge being put up by INDE IRAE, at least for a few of them. There still wasn't a ton of money built up because it seemed like the pistol rounds were a little bit more dodgy for them most of the time, still managing to lose a couple of players, so it was usually kept in only a position with kind of the one in the reserve to buy, which is obviously the position they found themselves in. Let's see, what's the plan for INDE IRAE? Looks like early on, pretty standard default, most of the control in towards lobby. And I was going to say that's a good call considering how often we've seen the ramp aggression, but there's no one watching it. Norbert's just able to walk in and take out 2 with the M4. We've seen the op push that a couple of rounds in a row, and we've seen the aggression just half of this entire CT side pretty much from K23 so far. They've done it almost every round basically, if not early then late, so I'm surprised that catches them off guard. And then Nealon with a fantastic spray down as they move out of the door. It's all onto Davcost, and K23, they're not playing anymore. They had a slow start, but this is looking much better.
The mind boggles with some of these moments, you know what I mean? The fact that, like, you can kind of sit and read into it pretty easily that this is probably a move K23 are going to go for, but INDE IRAE, not 1, but 2 players get caught off. They will be back financially to square one. Really, really not good. They do have that maximum loss bonus, so probably going to go for the buy, but you have a couple players like X5 and Flowian again, that may have to make a few sacrifices. And the AWP especially is probably a non-option unless Davkos saves, right? Which is the scenario that we find ourselves in here. So a little bit of an anticlimactic finish. K23, they're on it. They're on it. Looking really good with this aggression, catching INDE IRAE with so many moments. It's just that first half, I think, was not enough for them. And as you mentioned, the slow start, if only they'd found the pistol. Imagine the scenes. Imagine how much more one-sided this could possibly be in their favor.
Yeah, if they had just got themselves a little bit more in the first half as well, off the back of what was initially a decent start. 3 to go now for K23. It's still very achievable. If they win this one, there's an eco coming up then as well, so it'll only be the one more gun round then going on to the 30th round of the game to actually see if we're going to have the overtime or not. Obviously, there is still the chance INDE IRAE could close it out here and now, and that's going to be their goal. They don't want to get in that close. Again, it's just the best of one. It's a pretty important victory to give INDE IRAE a chance of moving forward. They could still potentially get that second place in the group. And look at this again. It's another lobby aggression. We've seen this pretty much every single time. Thankfully, they're watching for it. They're actually going to be keeping an eye on it from silo this time around. So X5 is able to go ahead and punish. But Mo is still pushed up in towards radio, at least. So he's got a pretty decent position here where he can call if they move back. Obviously, they couldn't hear he come down the ladder, but you don't normally see multiple players doing that. So he's happy enough with his current position. And with a kill now having been pulled back, it's a good spot for K23. Norbert gets caught before he can fully actually transition into the corner, which I think was his plan. But he still comes away with a kill on top of some pretty good damage onto Flowian as he was able to get the dink through.
Oh, this angle. Absolute filth. There's so many of them like this in Garage. Oh, there it is. Yeah, ready and waiting and Adren. Dutty, very, very dutty angle, as we'd say in the UK, but he's able to get away with it, of course, and you're going to use it to your advantage if you can. He will walk into the crosshair. Flowian, though. 2 versus 2, not completely out of the question. Hurt Frisk. Oh, here's Nealon. Dangerous peek from Nealon, I'll tell you. That one, oh my goodness, also equally as dangerous, but the Ferrari peak advantage comes in, and Flowian will be the only one left. This time, saving the AWP much more paramount, it feels like. Their buy in the next round kind of going to be non-existent, so maybe he can get something done with it. Full belt of utility and whatnot, so it's not so bad that he'll only have $300. What is maybe a problem is that his economy is going to be out of whack. Oh! And he might even go down after time if he's not careful. Oh, he does find it. He does find it onto Nealon, but that missed shot, you know, you can see the stress of the easy shot, quote unquote.
Yeah, to be fair, that's always the ones you miss because you're like, oh, I can't miss this one. And CS is such a mental game, just games in general, sports, all that sort of stuff. It's such a mental game that if you have even that tiny bit of doubt, you're probably like 50% more likely to actually go ahead and miss it. So that's what it feels like. I'm not confident in my game. I'm just absolutely dreadful at CS. Dreadful most of the time. That's why I'm not confident in my game. But here we go to push out towards A. The spray down from Fame. That buffed them for A1S once again, paying dividends. And when he does eventually go down, it was already Adren in position to recover the frag once again. And Davkos, he hadn't even pushed forward. He was held back by the smoke. 14-15. That had been the buy as well there, I believe, by INDE IRAE. So they aren't looking at a great investment here at all. No bomb plant, no damage really being done other than the single, other than the 2 kills, I believe it was. So they don't really have the money here. It's going to lack helmets if they want AKs. They're going to lack nades if they want to get those AKs as well. So you're seeing a Galil, a Mac-10 already pulled out. This is the last chance for INDE IRAE to close it in regulation, and they have a dreadful buy to actually to give that attempt.
And this is where the storyline really comes to a head, isn't it? Bit of adversity for INDE IRAE to get over. They have to dig deep. Find out what it is that's going wrong. Is it mental? Is it tactical? Bit of a difficult one.
I think
K23.
it's technical, unfortunately.
Yeah. The pause, yeah, is indeed technical at this point, but not so hot. We've got some kind of physical problems.
Yeah.
The pressure getting to Nealon, and his nose has exploded.
Yeah, random nosebleed. I haven't had that issue in a while, but it is a thing that can happen.
Yeah,
I guess he was just probably straining, holding an angle too hard.
indeed. Couldn't take his eyes off it. His, his like eyelids started twitching.
Jeez, what?
That that energy's got to come out somewhere. You know what I mean? It's the pressure's got to find a release.
Yeah, his nose was where it decided to go.
Yeah.
Ew. But thankfully, these boys are actually, of course, playing online, so he can just go ahead and step back for a minute, go grab whatever he needs in his house, or if they're, I don't know if they're maybe on a boot camp or anything. A boot camp probably would have been a good show for this tournament, but even if he is there, I'm sure they're pretty comfortable. He can go grab some tissue or whatever. So hopefully it won't be too long. But take your time, bro. We don't mind.
He'll be playing like with his head on an angle. Do you know what I mean? Like his head. I'm trying to do it now. I don't think you'd be able to see your screen, but you know what I mean, like leaning your head back as people do when they've got a nose and then, like looking down there.
Oh yeah, I've turned it on. I can see what you're talking about now, Scriv.
But I don't. If you try and do it, maybe if I like lift my monitor up.
You're meant to pinch the bridge, I believe.
Yeah, this could work. Now you see the back of my monitor.
Now I just see your monitor.
Yeah. Oh man.
We're going crazy here, don't mind. We're just chatting.
Yeah, we were also told that the C stream is a little bit cursed at the moment.
Yeah, there's issues.
The technicals. And to be fair, I don't think I've ever. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever been in a game where someone's had like a physical problem like that. Usually, it generally is, maybe you spill your water. That's about the closest it gets to an actual real life problem.
Yeah, I've had that happen twice, actually. There was a game, may have been you and me, I think it was me and Mike maybe at some point, where twice in the same game, the same player broke his keyboard by spilling water on it. So he must have had a few replacement keyboards. But yeah, either that or they just really wanted those extra technical pauses to talk. And they just went to the full lengths with the explanation of why. But I think he was just that unlucky, and again they catch a kill from this ramp aggression. I don't understand how this works just time and time again for K23. Thankfully this time they will eventually punish it and get an equal trade off the back of it, so that is an okay position to be in. But again, it comes through in towards the lobby. True Hoof Fame goes down. That's an upgrade as well off of this weaker weapon for Railway if he wants it, but they've got a ton of time and this 4-on-3 now to play out, so they're not in a massive rush, although as I say that, they start charging into ramp.
Here we go. Speed coming through. Hurtfrisk going to beat out a Dren. 4-on-2. Might just be a bridge too far, eh, boys? K23, they will try and hold on, namely Mo and Neelan. But they can just get the runaround going here. Down on the B-bomb site, Neelan and Mo have committed to it. Of course, quick rotations back up if they so choose. But the bomb is going to go down on A, and they've got great post plants to work with. Again, just to remind you, 4-on-2. This is going to be rough. Off angle for Davkost, able to find the first and the second. Not even going to entertain the idea of a crazy clutch coming in. 16-14.